In court as D.C. sues over its police takeover. Here you see anti-Trump protesters outside the courtroom. D.C. and the government agreed to restore control of the police department for now to the city's police chief instead of a Trump administration official. Well, to break that all down and try to make some sense out of it is a member of the House Oversight and Judiciary Committee and a candidate for governor in the great state of Arizona, Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, you and I got to serve together. We also, had to spend a good part of our lives in D.C. It was a very dangerous place. You go out for dinner, you go walk down the street, it was very dangerous. There's no doubt the need was there. But this ruling today, can you break this down? Because it sounds like it started, but then it got pulled back, and now we're going to kind of do it, but they'll do it jointly. How do you read what happened today in court?
Well, I think what happened today in court is a recognition that Section 740 of the 1973 Act, which they call the Home Rule Act, it allows the president to actually take control, notwithstanding another law. That's what it says. He can take control of the Metro Police Department if he deems there's an emergency. And that means that the mayor also has to allow him to take any services he wants necessary to bring peace and bring order. That's what the law says. I think that maybe a slight accommodation might be reached there, so the police chief can stay in her place for a little bit. But I believe that President Trump actually has the authority, pursuant to the existing law, to actually appoint a new police chief because of the way the language is written in Section 740. We're going to have to see, because this is going to be ongoing, as you know.
Yeah, the city sued the Trump administration over its efforts to expand control of the city's police department by installing a, quote, emergency commissioner and revoking policies that limited officers' cooperation with immigration enforcement. And they came to the agreement that the city's police chief, instead of the Trump administration official, they restored control of the MPD to the police chief. So I'm sorry, Congressman, this is a loss for the Trump administration. Granted, the judge in this, R-Ariz, was appointed by Joe Biden and has been hostile to the administration. But I think the bigger picture is, what are these people, including the mayor, concerned with? Not protecting victims and law-abiding citizens, especially on a day like today. The backdrop is President Trump meeting with Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, there's no explanation, is there, really, what they're doing, because they've taken a 90-10 issue and they've taken the 10% side. And what the Democrats are saying, hey, we want to have control over our city. But I'm like you, I get text messages from some of my friends and folks who live in D.C., and they're saying, we are so grateful. I actually had one say, I feel like I can walk to lunch now. So you've got a judge who's siding with them. And I think in the end that it all comes back to the specific language in Section 740, which I think is going to give the Trump team the victory they want.
Yeah, if anybody's being honest about what is going on and not going on in Washington, D.C., they're applauding Donald Trump, because they know they can't go walk their dog at 8 o'clock at night and be safe. That's for sure. Congressman, let me transition here for a moment. The Attorney General there in Arizona claims that in-state tuition for illegals is in compliance with federal law. But how do you see this?
Well, the executive order that President Trump issued is pretty clear that you can't give in-state tuition to illegal aliens. And the Arizona law, which is so wild, if you have a visa, any number of like 6 different visa types, you cannot get in-state tuition, but it specifically allows you to receive in-state tuition if you are an illegal alien. So I think that the Attorney General here is gaslighting the Arizona public, and we're not in compliance with the federal law, and I fear that there's going to be ramifications for Arizona because of it.
Financial ramifications, Congressman, is what you're talking about. I just want to read, this is a headline from one of the papers in Arizona. Attorney General defends Arizona's in-state tuition for non-residents. You talk about an oxymoron. you get in-state tuition for non-residents. But just final word to you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, that's the gaslighting that's going on here because it's pretty clear in the law that passed here, illegal aliens. These are illegal aliens who are going to get this tuition break. And if you're a non-resident, because that's who the visa status people are. So it's just more gaslighting, Dagan.
Unbelievable. Congressman Andy Biggs, candidate for governor there in Arizona and currently in the House. Appreciate you joining us on The Bottom Line. Do appreciate it.